Welcome to our second part of our wonderful Hercules marathon. We just got done watching, 2 days ago.
I don't know that.
They do.
The wonders of editing.
Wonders of editing with me wearing a different T-shirt.
You can change.
No, I can't change.
Oh.
Of our wonderful 2-part Hercules marathon. And we're off to go see the Rock be Hercules.
I am half expecting this to be like a cut rate Scorpion King.
Oh, yeah, if it's anything like Scorpion King 3, it'll be an amazing movie.
Yes. we can hope for that. I suspect it will mostly just be The Rock running around saying Hercules things. Not even Herculean things, just Hercules things.
It's bad that I've already seen like the Rotten Tomatoes reviews of it, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it like a 60%. So that's given me so much expectations. And then 2 of my friends that have seen it have said it's the worst possible thing in the world.
Well, it's the thing with Rotten Tomatoes, you don't know what demographic you're referring to. We could be talking about like 16-year-old girls and like, is that The Rock with a shirt off? This movie's awesome.
Yeah, I guess that could be true too.
Or we could be talking to Nate and he'd be saying the same thing.
Oh yeah. Anyway, this is Jeff.
Yes.
In the Patreon, if you didn't pay attention before.
We weren't paying attention to part 1.
Yeah.
Or I changed my name.
Quite possibly. So we'll go ahead and bring on Nathan here real quick, then so we can get out of here and go see the wonderful movie.
Does this have The Rock with his shirt off? Because that sounds awesome. See, because Jeff implied that I would gay.
I just
for The Rock.
That you might enjoy The Rock with the shirt off.
Who doesn't enjoy The Rock with his shirt off? Come on now. You're a WWE guy. You see The Rock going around with his people's elbows, and you go, oh, what a man.
To be perfectly honest, I was one of the people who absolutely hated him.
I backed Mick Foley in that whole debacle.
Yeah.
I'm glad that something about this movie was already ruined for me, so I won't snap with apoplectic rage 10 minutes into the film.
Yes. That's...
I mean, which we can discuss more in the aftermath, but I know one thing about this movie that's going to piss me off, and I already know it, so it won't piss me off fresh.
It won't piss you off that much. Will it piss you off as much as the movie we just got done watching? That we had a day to recover from?
The movie we just watched, if you like crappy Sci-Fi Saturday direct-to-TV, low-budget crappy movies, was a fine crappy direct-to-TV movie. It just happened to be released in theaters and think it was good.
No. Even for a crappy sci-fi flick, The Legend of Hercules is no. It's not even worth watching. Like Sharknado, I can maybe
it's
see
a Sharknado.
No, it's not a Sharknado.
No.
Sharknado is charming in its stupidity.
I don't know. Maybe it's because we had plenty of Seagram's wine cooler malt beverages, but I enjoyed Legend of Hercules.
Had one.
That's enough for me.
I had that's it. Obviously, so
I just like crappy movies, even when I'm sober. If it's a crappy enough movie, I'll enjoy it. And that was bad. It was kind of like how we all agreed we enjoyed seeing I, Frankenstein, even though it was a terrible, terrible movie. We all enjoyed seeing it.
Yeah, but I, Frankenstein is like infinitely better than The Legend of Hercules.
That is true. Which hopefully is not infinitely better than this Hercules movie, because I'm so ready to be angry at it.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to head out and go watch it.
No matter how far you go, man cannot escape his fate. Who are you? Are you a murderer? Are you a mercenary who turns his back on the innocent? We believe in you. We have faith in you. Remember the deeds you have performed, the labors you have accomplished. Are you only the legend, or are you the truth? Behind the legend. Now, tell me, who are you? I am Hercules!
Welcome back. We just watched Hercules again.
Hercules, not the legend of.
No, not the legend of
Hercules. This is just Hercules.
I'm going to get this out of the way right away just to see if we're all on the same page. This movie was fucking amazing.
It was fucking awesome.
I had a pretty good time.
I file this movie the same place I file like Ninja Assassin with movies that are terrible that I love with every fiber of my being. This was great. It was so bad, and I loved every moment of it.
I don't know how the other two people that saw this movie before us, how they thought it was the worst movie of all time.
No, there's a lot in there. I can see a major gripe with it.
Yeah.
Every single character was a cliche with no unexpected character development. Every single plot twist was telegraphed for a month ago. Everything was by the books, cookie cutter, nothing inventive, and I loved every part of it. It's like getting a great pizza, and it's not fancy, but it's like that's a pepperoni pizza. I'm super happy.
Yeah. And the Rock hit people in the face with a club.
Yeah, that's the best part. Holy cow!
He'd hit
like watching literally a video game ragdoll away from him.
Yeah.
Bink.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what would have made the movie for me?
That aluminum bat sound, the bink every time he did hit somebody?
Yes. Second thing that would have made the movie for me is having The Rock swath through troops like Sauron in Lord of the Rings. That would have been entertaining.
He pretty
much did that.
The first thing he does is hit 5 guys at once. I mean, it turns out it's a trick, but still.
Yeah. I really like how and that was one of the other things the other people complained about was the fact that that we're going to spoilers, because if we don't go through spoilers in these type of shows, what the fuck is it? But I like how the fact that all the stories of Hercules are just basically just exaggerated versions of what they actually did.
Right. That was spoiled for me in a negative review that said, don't be fooled, this isn't a Hercules movie because he doesn't do any of the Hercules stuff, and all the cool stuff you saw in the trailers, it's in the first 5 minutes and it's not even real. But the movie owned that and made it actually, the closest it had to plot/character development was the entire theme of, do the stories make the man, does the man make the stories?
Yeah. Now, I didn't get that same spoiler, so, my impression right away was after that really awesome prologue, oh, thanks for feeding me a load of crap.
Yeah.
This is not what I signed on for, so I was a little bitter for the first 20 minutes of the movie.
That's why I was happy I already knew that.
Yeah. But, to be honest, I don't have a problem with the take they took on it. If they could have just killed off the prologue, gotten rid of it, and done the slow reveal to the whole oh yeah, this is all BS. If they had built to that at a juncture, I'm not really a demigod, right? Wait, what?
It's they front loaded. The movie was honest. The first 5 minutes, it's just by the way, this is just a dude, and it's all bullshit.
Right. They clipped out these stuff that's saying right away that's bad and let us kind of pick up on it. I probably would have been happier with the movie. I had a lot of fun in the action sequences, but it was always just knowing all right, we know it's not real. It's still not real. Stop shoving that down our throats.
But maybe it will be real by the end.
You know what? I wonder if that's the reason why we enjoyed the movie. I know you enjoyed it on a different level. I think that's maybe why we enjoyed the movie as much, because we knew that part wasn't real. And that's probably what happened to them, except for they took it to them by the other two people that we saw this movie. Maybe they took that to the extreme. They just took that to heart.
They felt bait and switched.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very much the feeling I had early in the movie. Just
that's why on the way there, and you're mythology and stuff. I'm there's no mythology in this. I wasn't joking.
I know you said that, but I figured that it would have been like this quasi-believable stuff as opposed to nope, bull, all of it. And not even the proverbial Zeus bull, just none of that.
Yeah, there was no bull raping in this film. Jesus.
So pro.
Yeah,
is that a pro?
Depends.
We'll have to discuss this more in depth, the positives and negatives of invisible bull sex in our Hercules movies.
All right, I guess the no invisible bull sex was good for me, but apparently you enjoyed it a bit more.
I'm just saying, don't rule it out.
Open up my horizons a bit on that one.
At least.
Oh.
So I mean, let's we should probably go over we've already really went over almost everything. That we
Well,
like
the
so
movie's
far.
totally cookie cutter. I mean, it's
Yeah,
totally,
Although I did,
amoral mercenary, hired to do amoral things, finds out it's amoral, decides to be moral. Hooray, you're a hero now. The end.
I did notice the King's Army kind of reproduced like Tribbles do.
Yeah.
They have this fight and they get slaughtered.
I lost half my army in that fight.
And he's looking like a troop of what, maybe 100 dudes. Yeah, somewhere in that range. Lost half my army, super pissed. And in the next big fight sequence, there's 3 times as many men there.
Well, then they say, it's like they go from 100 to 500. That's losing half your men. You just move the decimal point over one. Training moves the decimal point over one.
I had no idea that also duplicated people.
Well, when they got their shipment of swords and shields and armor, they also just got 450 more guys.
Yeah, they were just in the gear.
Yeah.
No, it's like
The body of Hercules. He's just like another person in the army.
it's like when you win the lottery and you have a ton of friends that just come out of the woodwork and they're friends. I think that's what happened here. Is they're just giving away free armor and helmets. Fuck, sign me up.
Or what about those guys in the 80s who did the dance routines? They'd have the sticks with the 4 mannequins on them so that they looked like the Jackson 5 dancing. Maybe they just all were equipped with that.
All with super heavy shields and swords.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well,
That's
all
Hercules'
the fights,
stick.
For all the fights are pretty appropriate. The advance of just guys in the back pushing him forward on a dolly. We got this.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I guess the other thing though too is I really enjoyed their training sequence, which I did call, by the way. Their training sequences, I immediately thought of Army of Darkness when they were talking about how they have to train a bunch of peasants to learn how to fight, and I was like, oh, they're gonna go through the whole scene of ha, hoo, hi, ha, and I'm like, and then that happened minutes later. That exact scene,
identical. And I just saw because I that was the second thing I knew about the movie. And so as soon when they first we have trained peasants, I just see you in your seat going and I'm just like, oh, Andy, you have no idea. Then 5 minutes later it happened, and you're just like, what?
it was amazing.
It was amazing.
Easily the best movie that we have ever seen on the movie Pay Train.
Yeah, no, I
Even
legitimately
better than
enjoyed
Lucy.
it.
Yep.
Lucy, I had to put caveats. It could have been good, but they fucked it up. That's what I just enjoyed.
The more, in hindsight, the more I think about Lucy, the angrier that movie makes.
Because I'm so angry at that movie because it could have been good.
Yeah.
Just so angry.
Well, let's not try to ruin the moment of
Yeah,
Hercules.
let's not ruin the
Hercules, yay!
Remember that time when he punched the guy and the guy flew 50 feet through the air?
Yeah.
That was great.
Do you remember the time when he suplexed a horse?
Yes. He did suplex a horse.
And then said,
fucking
centaurs. I liked it has that. I know that it was, it's based in reality, and that was the one thing I liked about.
I don't know. He just suplexed a horse.
That's true too, I guess.
That's real. You can
Yes,
do that.
You can do that.
I'd like to see the video of you doing that.
I didn't say I could do it.
It's me.
I'm not Dwayne Johnson. Sorry, sir.
Yeah. I don't think.
But it was kind of the slow reveal of what was supposedly mythos. That worked out well for me. It's like the 13th.
But it wasn't a slow reveal.
Well, it kind of was. They were talking about centaurs. They were talking about
a
demons.
long prologue doesn't make it a slow reveal.
He was fake.
Okay.
We knew he was fake from 5 minutes in. Hypothetically, the movie could have been pretending as far as the centaurs being real. This man who faked being magical could have gone up against real magic. And there's been movies and stories like that in the past.
No, I'm glad they kept consistent.
So
they didn't put magic is real nonsense.
Well, I mean,
the villain could have. If they could have been real centaurs. It could have been a real sorcerer. That movie, they could have made that movie.
could have had real
Right.
demons and basically
No,
all the guys.
I will agree. That is a much better take than just kind of changing horses halfway through.
Yeah, so it's kind of why I liked the 13th Warrior in that sense, where you feel like the whole idea of the whole movie is you're going to have this giant worm come and destroy your village, and then you find out it's just a bunch of guys with torches coming down this hill. I liked that feel, even though they had the outline of the centaurs out there. They had all the guys that were tattooed up that looked like demons. They hissed and talked like demons.
Yeah,
it worked for me.
Yeah.
No, that was all done very well. Just
like I said, it's like my pizza analogy. It knew what it was. It didn't try to be fancy. Mm-hmm. It just, I am a stupid Dwayne Johnson suplexing horses and hitting people so they fly 30 feet through concrete walls while he battles wolves. And I'm a dumb movie. Let's have fun with it. And it executed it flawlessly.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did notice a couple problems where like apparently the Greeks weren't as good at sculpture as we thought they were. They've got some.
You make giant, heavy sculptures and you put them on like 4 toothpicks. That's how it's done.
Right, and you don't reinforce the statue at all. You just kind of layer it on top of each other like a wedding cake.
That's kind of how they did statues back then, too. I mean, that's how they were able to move like certain statues from Egypt.
Well, I understand
to
having
other
the
places.
pieces. Most modern statues that way, but there's something holding the pieces together other than gravity.
Oh, well, they believe the gods would hold them
Because
together.
I'll be damned, that gravity turned on that statue fast.
Listen, Thrace sucks, I guess. You know, they were incompetent at fighting. They're incompetent at sculpting. They just are a bunch of incompetent people.
It did take 1,000 people to sculpt that, though.
5 years.
5
1,000
years.
people.
Yeah.
That's because they kept making the eyes cross-eyed in accident. it wasn't anything major. They had to keep redoing a part.
It kept falling off of the crappy little stilts,
right.
and they never learned their lesson and built it more securely. They just like every 6 months, they're like, "There, it's done." Crunch. Fuck. Start again.
That one fell over and then sank into the swamp. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got no rants. This movie was great.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Go see it. You'll enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Don't see Legend of Hercules. Actually,
no, we
to
said
be honest,
watch it, just in a different setting.
To be honest with you, watch it and then go see this one. Because I think that actually helped it as well.
It might have.
Well,
it really
when
might
you can
have.
see how low that pit goes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I recommend watching Legend of Hercules the same way that you'd get a bunch of friends together and say, "Hey guys, let's watch The Room. Let's watch Birdemic, Shock and Terror. Come on, guys, it'll be great. This movie blows ass." Watch The Legend of Hercules, and it's terrible, but it's the... I know you're not saying that's to me, but to me, it's the right kind of terrible. It's a Sharknado terrible, where it's so bad, you get drunk, you get some nachos, and you laugh your asses off at it. And then this movie was just more a legit action flick where The Rock punched people and they flew 50 feet and he suplexed a horse, and it was great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't really a ton of... I mean, it was pretty decent in the action department where it wasn't really a lot of lull in there.
Well, no, they had a
out
couple
pretty
little
well.
bits of exposition to kind of let you know what's going on, kind of fill you in a little bit on the story, and then they cut to the next action sequence.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else do you want.
Nothing else,
Yeah.
which is the point.
Yeah.
They didn't try to have like a big love story or anything. Like for a second, I thought they were gonna. Like
I thought they were too with
they were gonna
King's
do a love
daughter
story, and then nope, fuck that noise. We don't
Nope.
need that. You know, we don't have time for that crap. We need to be suplexing horses.
I think Dwayne needs to grow his own beard, though, because his beard was awful distracting.
It changed length several times between scenes. And
It was
Well, and it had
very
that weird astroturfy texture to it.
I do like that they got like a Polynesian baby so that it would match him.
Yeah. Oh, and his brother or his nephew as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else in this movie is white except for The Rock. We need to get a couple more Polynesians so that they can be passing as him as a baby and his nephew. Surprised they put in that much effort.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Go watch it. It's worth it. I'd recommend it in the theaters still.
My first legitimate, unironic recommendation of this series.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Actually,
We
it
weren't
is
expecting it.
It is sadly because we have gone through this is the 6th movie we've gone.
5.5. What do you want to call the two Hercules?
Well, they're two separate movies.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
then the 6th.
The same thing as like RoboCop is two separate movies. So technically,
RoboCop.
And on that note...
No, I want to say something. I rewatched the RoboCop thing a little bit ago.
Okay.
And I was too in shock to mention two things that pissed me off about RoboCop, so I'm going to mention them now because this movie was too good to have a rant about. So, the fucking villain, I still don't get the logic behind RoboCop knows about the literally nothing illegal we've done. We better kill him.
yeah,
That's still the stupidest plot development I've seen.
that makes perfect sense to me.
Like, that's the thing, like, because I watched the video and Katie's like, no, RoboCop was going to tell on him. And I'm like, I blow it off then, and now I'm thinking, tell what? He hadn't done anything.
But he was gonna.
What's he going to tell him on? This guy's kind of a jerk. And he protected my family from my psychotic breaks where I randomly try to murder people. That's not evil. That's responsible.
Well, that was being evil. He was keeping him away from his family.
So he wouldn't
That was
kill them.
He was interrupting his freedom to murder his family.
Like a
which is
Yeah.
terribly un-American and not cool.
That is completely un-American.
And speaking, that at least was touched on. Something we didn't mention in that video that's, again, kind of like Lucy, so frustrating because, oh my God, why? It's right there. Just fucking do it and make your movie not terrible. At the beginning of the movie, they have the little boy with a butter knife, and Ed 209 just Swiss cheeses the fuck out of that little kid. Like, the kid pulls out a little butter knife, and Ed 209 just vaporizes him into a fine red mist. And it's like, oh my God, because the robot can't tell levels of threat. Sees a guy with a rocket launcher, sees a kid with a butter knife. Either way, it vaporizes him. Okay?
I'm equally
Plot
threatened by
point
both.
1. Plot point 2, Robocop has a son that he cares about. Plot point 3, they take away his personal control over himself. So when he's in combat, it's actually an artificial intelligence. He doesn't have any control over his behavior. The subroutines are running him. He just thinks he has control. So you've set up the robots murder kids because they can't tell threat levels. He has no control over his actions because he now is a robot, and there's a kid he cares about. Why not have him shoot that kid?
Or put himself close into
or,
danger
like,
or
or
something.
go to the
You don't have to
program.
kill him, but shoot at him or choke him or something. Have him have no control over himself. Attack this child. That's such a dramatic thing you could put in there. Instead, what payoff do they have for the fact that he's not in control of his actions? Literally zero.
He's a better fighter when he's not in control.
There's no repercussions to it.
I think we're all digressing. It's not Hercules.
It's not.
No, it's not Hercules.
Have him choke his fucking son, though. It would be amazing.
Wait, Zeus?
Yes.
Choke Hercules.
Yeah. Because Zeus, the helmet comes down and he turns into a robot. I'd see that. No?
No, I think we're done.
Oh, fine. Fucking Robocop. Go see Hercules instead.
No shit hands.
I can't do the fingers
All right,
fast.
and go.
Hola!
Yay. No.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
The fuck
It stopped working.
You're asking me will my love grow? I don't know.
That doesn't sound good. Oh, it's just the project that I just was in. All I do is hit the record button.
You couldn't even do that right.
Apparently not. I have one job. It's stupid. But let's do it.
not care.